I'd like to introduce Tammy Turley, who's the Executive Director of Mostly Mutts, and today I'm going to ask her some questions. Tammy, how did you become involved with Mostly Mutts?
About 6 years ago, I went on Mostly Mutts website and saw a dog that they were asking for somebody to foster. It was a 17-year-old blind and deaf poodle, and I've always had a weak spot for the older senior dogs. So I called Paige O'Neill, the founder, and asked her if I could foster. They came out and did a home check and did everything, and I got approved and started fostering.
Great. What is the best part of working with Mostly Mutts?
The best part is probably to see the dogs that are scared at an animal control come in. We pull them, bring them to our shelter, they go into foster homes and get adopted, and to see the dogs go through their transition and start trusting and loving people again. That's probably the best part, in watching the follow-ups that come in to show the dogs in their new homes.
Tell me about your little tired friend.
This is Jag. He actually came from a local animal control as a stray, but he cannot use his back legs. He's crippled and also has to wear a diaper to control his potty habits. But he's just a total love bug. He doesn't know he's handicapped. He scoots around the house and gets around just fine. I think he's a little bored of the video. But he's a sweet dog and still looking for his forever home.
Recently, I read that you were able to buy the warehouse where the shelter is located, and that you have some big plans to build out and renovate, and you are trying to raise money for that. Tell me a little bit about it.
We are. We're so excited that we bought the building, and now we're ready to build out to make an actual quarantine section so the dogs aren't cross-contaminated. And have an intake room so that we can bring the dogs in, give them their baths, do all the medical stuff, and then get them into their warehouse or get them into their room. We will also have a meet and greet section that you can bring your dog and actually meet a dog that you might be interested in. So we're very excited about all the new stuff.
Right now you can have only 20 dogs in the shelter at a time, and all the other dogs are in foster homes. Once you build out, how many dogs will you be allowed to shelter at one time?
We're still going to try to keep it no more than 25. We want our dogs in foster homes, so that's the main goal, is to get them into a home. That's where you really learn about their personalities and what type of home that they need to be in for the rest of their life. But it will, right now, really at this we can hold up to 20, but we try to keep it at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that
it'll
also
increase.
helps the volunteers that come and work all the shifts, because there's not too many dogs.
Right.
And you're going to need approximately how much money to finish your build out?
We're estimating at $100,000. We have lots of volunteers that will do the work and are ready to jump in and help. But we're looking for plumbers and electricians and stuff like that. We've also reached out to several companies for materials, so that the more we get donated, the cheaper it will be.
Sounds wonderful. Now that's all the fun part, but what about the sad times, and what do you think is the most difficult thing that you encounter when you rescue dogs?
Probably working with people that don't want their dogs anymore. There's so many people that just discard them as trash. They're done with them. They can't get them housebroken, or they bark too much, or we had one turned in that they said because it smells, you know. So that's the hard part. You see so many people who really do love their animals and want to be a part of their family, and then there's other people who still treat them like they're just backyard trash.
So have you been helping animals your whole life?
I was always that kid that was pulling every stray, bringing it home. My parents were always really good about letting me have animals, so I've always been an animal lover. And if a bird fell out of the tree in our neighborhood, I was the one that went and got it and tried to keep it alive. So yes.
What do you think is the biggest factor in the number of animals that are abandoned and euthanized every year all across the United States?
I think spay-neuter is a huge part of it, because not only does it keep the population down from them having more litters, but it's also why so many animals are strays. That when we go to animal control and we're looking to pull dogs, there's more strays than there is dogs that are strays that are not spay-neutered. So even though you say your dog's never going to get out and get pregnant or father a litter, it doesn't mean that it won't run away. So that helps.
And when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I've always wanted to be a mom. That was my #1 goal in life, which I am, and have 3 beautiful children who also grew up rescuing and being involved in rescue groups. So they're now fostering and very much involved also with Mostly Muds.
Great.
So I'm a proud mom.
Well, thank you, Tammy. That was great, and we hope to tell your story to lots of people.
Thank you.